Howdy, and welcome to the Highline Herd podcast, where stories ride strong and the bond between folks and their horses runs deep. Each Sunday, we're talking everything from trail tips and tack to good old horse sense and the people who live it every day. Keep up with the herd by following us over on Instagram at the Highline Herd and swinging by our website at thehighlineherd.com. Now, let's ride into today's episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Highline Herd. This one is a little bit different. So I'm Skylar.
I'm Shelby.
There we go. We are here in Hocking Hills, Sand Cove. This place is beautiful. The clip does not do it justice. The view is just...
It's stunning. So Hocking Hills is an old state park in Ohio. And there is so much history here.
Yeah.
There is so much evidence of life dating back even 7,000 years.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane.
It's so rich in history and the amount of effort that it took to just even establish towns here, establish settlements here, because as you can see, some areas are so rocky and the terrain is just so treacherous you can't.
So for the people listening in, I'll give a nice descriptor of just what Hocking Hills is. So a lot of Ohio is fairly flat farmland, but Hocking Hills is where the glaciers ripped through Ohio.
Yes.
So it is mountains, our version of mountains. Massive hills for those of you who do live in the mountains.
Yeah.
Massive hills, cliffs, ravines, canyons, narrow gullies and ditches and high ridges. And, you know, it is so hard to find flat ground, so hard to find dry ground. So, you know, being here in the modern day with all the machinery we have, it's amazing that people live here the way they do.
Oh, yeah.
Much less back in the day when we didn't have houses, we didn't have helicopters to help move things, we didn't have all this stuff to lift things and move things and clear land.
Yeah.
These people survived just off the land itself.
Yeah.
They had to use places like Sand Cove where we're kind of surrounded by rock to shield themselves from the weather.
Yeah. I mean, you just think about camping and this would be the ideal spot. We were just talking about it. Like, if we were to camp somewhere or find a place to set up camp, this would be it. Because you can't see it. We'll show videos, you know, watch our TikToks and stuff. But like, this entire area is just completely covered. The rain doesn't hit it. It's protected from, you know, that side of the wind. The only wind that you would get is possibly through the trees coming this way towards us.
And even then, in the summer, like, all those trees are full of greenery.
It's a very thick, densely packed hemlock forest where you've got a bunch of oaks and other, you know, old, well-established tree systems too. But the hemlocks there, they provide the most shade, and I mean, it's
There's
beautiful.
so much vegetation here, it's crazy.
Yes.
So with that in mind, with the hemlocks and with staying in one of our opinions of one of the best sites on the bridle trails, let's talk about another one of the best sites. So the trail to Red Rock yesterday, we had some interesting things happen.
We did. We had, so call this a spooky Tales from the Trails episode, I guess, but we had some people following us, and not people in the sense of what you perceive as like people, but we had some spirits or some entities. Now, believe what you will, when you trail ride, you're not always alone. And I mean, Shelby and I can attest, we've had our fair share experiences.
So, you know, everybody has their beliefs and we respect every belief. We respect every, you know, believe what you want to believe. But we firmly believe there is life beyond this and there are things beyond ourselves.
Yes.
And, you know, like Skylar said, when you're out trail riding, when it's just like you and maybe one other person, you and just your horse, you are opening yourself up to experiences beyond just the surface.
Yes.
Because it is so quiet. It is so peaceful. You are so much more connected with everything. You are so much more in the moment in yourself. You're feeling your horse. You're feeling the environment. And, it's it's an experience unlike any other.
Yeah.
So
To be that attuned to
yeah.
your surroundings and to be able to pick up on things that normally you don't in your day-to-day life.
Yeah, the modern world is so busy, and your everyday life is super busy. You're always reachable, but out on the trails, especially out here, no one's reaching us.
No.
And with how rich a history Hocking Hills has, with how many people have lived here, camped here, fought, survived, all of it, it's no wonder there's things still here, still lingering, still watching, still riding, still camping. So yesterday we were headed to Red Rock.
Well, let's start with this. So right now it's November 23rd. Typically, the trails, all of Hocking Hills closes November 1st for all of horses. This year they decided to keep it open for another month, so everything closes December 1st. Now, granted, there is hardly nobody here. I've not seen any other riders except for 3 yesterday.
The campsite was completely empty.
Yeah. We had the entire campground of Pine Creek Horseman's Camp to ourselves.
I've seen no horse trailers.
Nope.
And yeah, we only saw 3 riders yesterday, and today I heard the trail guide say she's not doing rides. She's done riding.
Yeah.
So
it's very interesting. So
and the park knows that.
We're in that season kind of where the park gets a break, the land gets a break, and these spirits also get a break from all of our craziness of the modern world.
Yeah. So, they feel things just like we do. They feel shifts in energies too. And, when they're lingering, they know when's the off season, when's the not, when can they take the land back.
Yes.
So, right now everything's supposed to be closed. So everything is even quieter than it normally is. Everything's even more peaceful than it normally is. So, when we rode, we started at the beginning of the hemlock forest. And, we gathered some of the trees because very useful. It smells great and has some other uses, but that's not what this is about. And, we think that's part of why we had some company moving down the trail. So as we were riding and we entered the hemlocks, I was the first to notice something. But I took a minute to say anything because I wasn't quite sure. And
there's always that moment where you second guess yourself or think that you're just in your own head.
Right, because beyond all else, we do believe there are natural causes. We do have some skepticism because sometimes when you're in a cave, the ground vibrates in such a way that it can make you think there's more going on than there is.
Oh, yeah.
It's a human survival instinct.
Yes.
When the ground is shifting, you need to move on. When, the trees creak, the wind blows through, especially this time of year, there's so many things that can trigger, your more primal nature. Because remember, humans are animals. We were made for survival. We were made with certain things in our bodies.
And when we're out in nature, some of those instincts kick back in and they're like, oh, hey.
Especially when you're riding with a prey animal.
Yes. Because
you're so in tune to them and, trying to make sure they're secure, they're safe, they're confident as well. So, I did second guess myself at first. I was like, am I really sensing what I'm sensing? And what I felt like was that there was someone ahead of us, waiting for us to get to a point, and then they'd move on and wait for us at another point. And I wasn't sure about it at first. But after the first, 5 or 10 minutes of feeling this, I looked back and I said to Skylar, do you feel that? And then it got stronger.
It got way stronger. And it's so funny because we were feeling 2 separate things. You were feeling somebody ahead of us, and I was feeling a bunch of people behind us and around us kind of following behind and kind of closing in a little bit. Not in a malicious way, but in a way to enough that they were right behind us on the trail and right on the outskirts of the trail.
And what kind of clued us in that it wasn't just paranoia. It wasn't just, maybe there is an animal in the trees watching us, because that's very possible out here.
Oh, yeah.
Was our horses.
Yeah.
Horses don't care about deer. They don't care about squirrels. They don't care about chipmunks.
No.
Our horses do not care about that stuff. They've been on too many trail rides to care.
Yeah.
But our horses didn't want to move on.
Yes.
They kept wanting to stop and look around, and we let them because even we were like, we're not quite sure what this is, so
We try to
let's take it slow and process.
exactly like Valor. He kept looking to the left. Willie kept looking to the left, and then it shifted where they would look at the right, and they'd just kind of wander around.
As we
and
came around
change.
that one bend,
Yeah, and it was just we were all feeling this energy and these people around us, and we didn't know what was up, so we stopped and we were trying to figure out, what do we feel? What is going on? Do we have any intentions? Like, can we feel their intentions? What might this be?
It truly felt so. We came down the path, and there's a bend where on the Red Rock path. There's a bend where you get to the thick of the hemlocks. You're at the low point, and there's a bend that takes you back up a hill. And right at that bend was when the energy shifted to be fully around us.
Yes.
And the horses immediately slowed so much.
I know, they just wanted to stop. They didn't want to go forward, and we're like, well, we can't really turn around.
Right, like the hill's worse going that way, so we gotta stay where we're headed.
Yes.
But how we handled that was we didn't rush our horses.
No.
We didn't kick them forward. We didn't get frustrated with them. Because reality is, even if you don't know something is there, your horse does. And rushing them through can create anxiety that may not exist.
Yeah.
It can create fear that doesn't need to be there. So, we did. We stopped and we thought and we processed and we kind of spoke to what was around us, kind of checked in. And it stayed with us for almost the whole path.
Yeah, that whole portion of the trail when we were in the hemlocks,
Yeah.
they all followed us.
It wasn't until we got to the Red Rock Ridge, right where the hill going down to Red Rock starts, that they started to kind of dissipate and back off. But we were also at the edge of what I think was their territory.
Yes, very much so. That's the only way I could explain it too.
Yeah, and
As soon as we got into the open where the hemlocks opened up, it was just like, oh, sunlight, and then instantly just that presence faded.
the way I would describe the energy, I felt like we were being escorted. That's why someone was in front of us to make sure we were moving on. We kept going because that energy that was in front took a little while to fade. It wasn't until we got to the hill and Skylar and I split up a little bit that we were back to being just us two.
Yeah.
Because at that hill, Hocking Hills on a good day, the trails are steep. They're rough. They're rocky, littered with roots. And so, right now it's wintertime. It's wet. So we split up. I went first so we would have plenty of space between us. And it wasn't until then that we were back to being just ourselves.
Yeah.
But even going down that hill, Valor did not want to go. He was so worried about Willie and looking for where Willie and Skylar were. So, it just goes to show, even if you don't feel something, even if it's not affecting you, it will affect your horse.
Horses do.
Yeah, because Valor is not the kind of horse to usually be worried about others. He's usually the horse I can say, all right, you guys stay put, I'm going to go ahead, because he'll move out away from other horses confidently. I've never had an issue with putting him separate. But yesterday, he did not want to leave Willie.
Yeah. No, they were both kind of glued together.
They did not want to part.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
And another thing I want to point out is how we're dressed. As you can see, me and Shelby are wearing our dusters because it is cold. And these are flannel lined, they're so comfortable, so warm. And we're just doing everything we can, especially in here, since we're in the shade and there's no sunlight that reaches this place right now. You have to stay as warm as you can.
So we are dressed a little bit like we're coming from the past. We've got boots, dusters, hats.
Yes.
We've got feathers in our hats. I've got a feather on Valor. We've got saddlebags. We look like we could be riding the trails of the West.
Yes, right out of a movie.
And remember, everything holds memory. The land holds memory. Your horses hold memory. Your saddles, your leather. And, when you go places, when you go trail ride, sometimes you can trigger those memories.
And sometimes you can awaken things that
Yeah.
haven't been around for a while. Because I mean, you got to think about it. There's so many people that come in, and I led guided trail rides here for years. I know a lot of people come here to goof off with their friends. They bring alcohol and they get really rowdy on the trail and get drunk, right? That's just part of trail riding with a big group of people.
Yeah, and they get loud and they crash through their trees, they break things, like they just are chaos incarnate sometimes.
Yes. You don't have a lot of the people who slow down like me and Shelby do and just really appreciate the land and where you are in the current moment. And all of that can kind of add in and make us stand out, possibly.
Well, and like I said, the way we choose to adorn ourselves. Remember how familiar feathers are to the land, to the past. So everything holds a purpose, everything holds a meaning. Your horses know it.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
Whether you think they do, they do. And it's simple things too. The bridle holds meaning, the bit holds meaning. Maybe not in the same complex way that you or I may think about it, but... So yeah, this is our Tales from the Trails to remind you, pay attention. Stay in tune.
Yes, because there could be things following you on the trail.
You may not always be alone.
Yeah, especially when you're in an area like Hocking that is notorious for having a history and
having a very rich history.
Yes. There were so many tribes that came through this land, camped here, lived here, hunted here.
The military came through here. We had...
Yeah.
Because 21 Horse Cave got its name from a militia group, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So, you know, this land has had so much. And it remembers it all. Whether you think it does or not, it does.
Yes.
And, you know, just like your saddle holds memory of all the rides, all the events you've been through, all the travels, so does the land. Everything organic holds memory.
Exactly. So, a PSA, treat the land right. Treat it with dignity. Clean up after yourself. Make sure you try to keep from destroying things on the trail or, you know, carving a new path that's not designated, because you can only do so much and preserve so much of this land before it's gone.
Yeah, and that's kind of, you know, yes, be in the moment, stay in tune, but remember too, we are so limited where we can ride, where we can check out.
Yes, us horse people, it's a dying breed, unfortunately, especially trail riders, packers, all of it. Just,
and it's getting harder and harder in the modern age. So respect the land, be grateful for what we can do, because it's the people before us, it's that history, it's those memories the land holds that are the reason we can do all of this.
Exactly.
That we can come to somewhere like Sand Cove and exist.
Yes.
Just sit here and listen to the water drop off the rocks, our horses shift in the sand, the wind through all the trees.
Yeah.
Just enjoy your time.
Yeah.
Live in the moment.
You don't know how much of it you got.
No.
So enjoy and savor every moment that you can.
And when you're trail riding, maybe next time don't rush through.
No.
Sit back and see what you see. Feel what you feel.
Yes.
See what you can spot.
Yes. Well, no, it's a shorter episode, this Tales from the Trails, but we just wanted to share this amazing spot with y'all and share a little story on what we experienced.
Yeah. And, you know, just remind you guys, live in the moment.
Exactly.
There's so few.
Yeah. If you have a story that you want to tell on this podcast or you want us to read aloud, please, please, please send it in. Email us. We would love to share it. We have so much stories that we can share, but we want to hear from you guys. We want to listen in and be able to read off what you guys are experiencing and the life that you're living too. So that's it. We will see you next week. We hope you enjoyed this week's topic. Join us for new episodes every Sunday. And to keep up with the herd, be sure to follow us on Instagram at The Highline Herd and visit our website at thehighlineherd.com. We hope you enjoy the show. See you next week.